Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Suitcase and Chardonnay podcast, an extension of my blog by the same name. I'm your host, Wikus Engelbrecht, and here we talk all things lifestyle, travel, fashion, food, and wine. Today's episode is extra special and a little more personal because I am joined by someone who knows every detour, every passport stamp, and every packed and repacked suitcase of this journey. My husband. Whether we're chasing sunsets with our children or navigating lost luggage and tiny rental cars, travel has a way of revealing what really matters. And often it's not the destination, it's the people you share it with. So, in this episode, we're swapping stories, asking big and slightly uncomfortable questions, and reflecting on how travel has shaped not just the way we see the world, but the way we see each other and our family. Welcome.
Thank you.
On my podcast.
My very first time.
So we're going to dive right in. I think you have noticed that travel is a very big part of our lives, and so is family. And I thought it might be a good idea to talk to Wikus and also kind of share what we as a couple believe is important with regards to travel as a family, and kind of just have a bit of a conversation around the two topics that are so special to us. So the first question, my love, is there a specific trip that you can remember that shifted the way you saw your role and responsibilities within our family?
Yes, I think besides the trips that we went on together, I've also traveled quite extensively with my work. And what I've seen is that in different cultures, the man's responsibility and the husband's responsibility is different. For instance, in Nigeria, on the occasions that I traveled there, I would see that husbands are very much distant from the family. They work extensively, they work the entire time. It is very much the women's responsibility to look after the family as a whole. Not only their direct children, but also mothers, fathers, even to the extent of the father's side of the family. And the mother takes on that responsibility. And I think what I've learned is that we are privileged in South Africa to have a culture of working where a dad, a father can be very much involved in the workings of the family and have direct responsibility, not only indirect in terms of supporting, but direct responsibility in raising your children, being very much more present than what I've observed in other cultures.
Don't you think those cultures are also, in the bigger South Africa picture, there are cultures like that as well, isn't it? It's a bit of an African predicament almost.
Yes, I very much think so. I think that within South African cultures, they call us the Rainbow Nation for a reason. And so we do have different ways of raising our children. Every father has the decision, no matter what culture he's brought up in, he has the decision to decide how much he wants to be involved. Yes, for some fathers, they have to work away from home. They have to spend much more time at work. But in the end, you have to make the decision as to what is important for you as a father. Is it important just to provide in terms of financial dependency that your family has on you? Or do you want to instill a sense of your own type of discipline, your own type of upbringing in your kids and in your household?
Yeah, that's true. I think it depends on your responsibilities at work and the amount of hours you have to travel to work, I suppose. So in a sense, we are a bit privileged in that sense that we are able to kind of manage that in a way.
Yeah, we have the best of both worlds. We are privileged to have great careers, but also not to live 3 hours away from work.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and I think the fact that you got to travel to Nigeria, for instance, gave you that glimpse of how certain fathers need to work and provide and kind of sacrifice a side of them that they not necessarily want to sacrifice, but they realize that they have to. Sure. Is there a specific destination where the cultural experience made you appreciate family more or see family in a different light?
Yeah, I think again maybe traveling for work that have an effect on how families are raised, where you would see families where even the children are involved in running businesses from a very young age. If I have to think of a specific trip, I would say maybe a visit to Germany, where we visited my cousin and his wife, and where they live in a very small village, and where the father especially has lots of time to spend with his family and spend with his kids, where they ride bicycle to work, where it seems from the outset as a very more relaxed type of environment than even Pretoria or Johannesburg. I think what we experience there is that in certain areas of the world, you are restricted in some way. Let's say in Europe by maybe the weather in wintertime, and but you do have access to all of these parks. You have access to public transport where even small children can use it from quite a young age. So every part of the world has pros and cons, which impact family life, which impact your ways of doing. And in the end, again, you as a family have to decide what suits you. Do you want to live the quieter life where you can take your bicycle to work and come back at 4 or 5 o'clock and then take your kids to the park? Or are you picking up your kids from school at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and go and have dinner at a restaurant every second day? So it's again a decision you have to make.
Yeah, and priorities, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. Through the years, do you think travel has made you a better partner, father, even sibling maybe? And how has it had an impact on you?
Yeah, I think in South Africa we are used to driving far and for long periods at a time. we just came back from the Western Cape, and on our last day we had to spend about 10 hours in the car. And well, the first thing you learn is patience.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with two small children. It teaches you to think outside the box. How do you keep two toddlers busy for, or even smaller age children busy for hours at a time? Yes, there's quite a number of movies on Netflix to watch, but we've made the decision not to go that route. So I think it teaches you discipline, it teaches you patience to a large extent. It teaches you to think of other ways to keep your children entertained while you as a parent still want to enjoy the holiday. You want to spend one-on-one time with your partner.
Yeah, I think it's a different balance, or a difficult balance. And like you say, we have made the decision not to go the route of screen time on the road. Sometimes we would do like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes of screen time. But I think it's important to kind of allow the children to see the other things on the road, and to think of clever ways to entertain themselves, because that is a practice that we kind of try to teach them at home as well. And we kind of just take it through to the car as well. I must admit, I think you are the more patient one in the car when it comes to that, and also probably a bit more creative, because you kind of think of jokes and funny things, and you are very good at telling stories, coming up with these interesting stories. When we were driving through the Karoo just the other day, Wikus came up with the story about 5 baboons. And the story just kept going and going and going, and the kids were hanging on his lips. So I think it takes a bit of personality as well, I suppose. But it is possible, I think, to teach yourself as well to be more patient, and I think it makes you a better person in the end if you work at something like that. And it kind of makes you a better parent in the end as well, because you prioritize certain things, like not opting for screen time initially, and trying your best to kind of keep the children entertained with creative ways, and showing them things along the way, and even stopping, regularly every 2 hours or so, and kind of giving them that gap to refill. And
I think nothing that we discussed previously as well is, even though routine is great for a family, especially younger children, they want to know what to expect next. It's also good to take them out of their routine, for them to get accustomed to not knowing what's happening next. They can get, and we as well, so set in our ways that knowing what comes next puts you in that comfortable space, and that does not drive innovation. It does not allow yourself to think outside the box. So on holiday and when traveling, you tend not to eat the same thing every morning. You tend to wake up at different times in the morning and tend to go to bed at different times in the evening. So you're out of routine, but you find a way to make that work. You find a way to to get accustomed to it and actually enjoy it for that period.
Absolutely. I do think we are raising two travelers. I'm just thinking just about the other morning we had to wake up the kids at just before 5. And we thought we were just going to put them in the car and they'll sleep
The first 2 hours.
the first 2 hours, and they actually just talked for the first 2 hours. And it was interesting, the things they noticed. Like our son, who's 5, the one thing he really noticed was this big bright star, and it's something he wouldn't have seen had we not woken them up that early and had we not spent that time on the road as early as we did. So yeah, like you said, the routine might have been different, but it is a different experience, and it's something he might remember for many years. Yeah. Have you ever felt closer to our family, even while being far from us? And why do you think is that?
When traveling for work, you tend to zone out, think of other responsibilities, and also use that time to be as productive as possible. I always use the opportunity to catch up on work stuff, on admin, on whatever I could, knowing that I would have less distractions from work specifically. But as the saying goes, the distance makes the heart grow fonder, and that truly is the case. I've never been away for more than seven days, I would say, at a time from the family. But I did, at some point, I did do it quite regularly, about once a month. And after two days, you're still fine. But by the third, the fourth day, you start to miss the morning routines and start to miss the morning hugs and the night, the evening stories in bed before they go to sleep, and having a warm body next to you when you go to sleep. So definitely, food tastes the best when you're very hungry. You love the most when you don't have it with you. And so definitely worth traveling alone as well, but I wouldn't do it for long periods at a time.
So when it comes to family dynamics while we're on the move, I want to know, have you found that there are any shifts in our family dynamics while we're traveling? And have you kind of noticed any of our family members having some kind of a different personality or a different way of doing things when we're on the move?
Yes, definitely. I think even before we start traveling, the energy in the household picks up. Not only from our children, but very much from my wife as well. Looking forward to traveling. So yes, definitely an energy level that rises in the days preceding our travel. And then when we climb in the car or drive to the airport, wherever we might go, the energy is tangible. It's excitement. It's looking forward to what awaits. I think I've started to appreciate that in our children as well, that even they don't know exactly what awaits them, they are so excited for it. And that uncertainty is something that excites them, which is great, because in life we should be excited about what awaits, even if it scares us sometimes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that's one thing that travel teaches us quite a lot, is even though you book an Airbnb or a 3-star hotel, you never really know what it looks like until you get there. But that uncertainty should excite you and not scare you. So we as a family, we're not scared of traveling. We take it on. We prepare what we can, and we leave the rest to be. So yes, definitely energy and excitement changes. As for the person or persons that changes, I think my wife, Renata, is definitely a person that lets more loose while traveling. She is a very much routine-based mother and wife, which is great for a household. I think she appreciates the time during our travels to not be responsible for running a household the entire time. And your mind goes to other places.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
think of other possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it helps to kind of just step away from all the extra responsibilities for a bit. Because you're stepping away from work mostly. Especially since I am a travel writer, we do often travel for work. But you still get the opportunity to step away from certain responsibilities and not having to worry about feeding the dogs, making sure the house is tidy, and all of those extra little bits. It definitely helps to kind of just, spend that time you would have spent on household things, reading a book or really enjoying the view or having a good, proper, focused conversation, or spending some quality time with the kids that you don't necessarily get to do at home. Because city life is just, well, not necessarily just city life, any life, with school and activities and everything. I mean, we do try to keep it as minimal as possible, but life is busy. And it does help to step away from all of that for a bit and kind of just refocus your energy.
And I've seen that filter down to our daughter as well. She's very much in touch with Renata's feelings and mood and attitude at a certain point. And that definitely filters down to her. So that excitement, even the excitement in uncertainty, just being in a different space excites her, and she also appreciates that, which is a great thing.
It's probably why she likes going for coffee dates.
So often.
What does your idea of home look like after seeing so many others around the world?
Yeah, I think again, I want to emphasize how privileged we are in South Africa to have big homes which are close to our places of work, we do work hard. I mean, the South African culture is a very hard-working culture. But to an extent, we are afforded the opportunity to have some flexibility. Of course, dependent on what type of work you do. But home is where I come every day to relax and to be between people that appreciate me, that respect me. And I'm not always sure that all families are like that. I'm not always sure that dads, mothers, well, firstly, can be at home so much and so often, and then secondly, be respected for what they do. So, yeah, I think I'm appreciative of the position that I'm in and for the family that I do have. And to have a really beautiful and comfortable home that we can live in. I think even our middle class in South Africa, we have quite a lot. Our middle class in South Africa is a higher class than the middle class in the rest of Africa or even in Europe. We can afford more with our money than what a middle class person can afford in Europe.
Yeah.
With the same amount of income. So yes, I would say I'm in essence appreciative and privileged.
No, definitely. I mean, if I think about the places that we've been to and, you know, the families we've met and the houses they live in, like you mentioned now, Europe, for example, there are families like us with 2 children and they live in very small houses, rarely with a garden. And if we think, I mean, we have a large garden and the kids can ride their bikes and it's not even necessary to go outside of our property for them to really enjoy the outdoors. So I think for me, home is a safe place, yes, but also a place where we can really be together as a family without having to go anywhere else. And it's so special. It's special to have that, but I also do realize that I don't think there are, not all the families are like that. So I feel even more privileged to know that we've got that we do have a loving family. I think it's important to also take note of things like that in life and really appreciate it for what it is. Are there any family rituals or values you now cherish more after seeing how differently other cultures approach family life?
Yes, definitely. I think the mere fact that most evenings we can sit around a table and have dinner together is again a big privilege. There are so many families that either one parent works quite far away from home and only comes back over weekends or maybe even once every 6 weeks. So just the mere fact that 5 out of 7 nights in a week we are afforded the opportunity to sit together. Is great to have.
What is one thing about our family you've learned to let go of thanks to travel?
So being a project manager, I have to very much be in control of every facet, not only of my work, but of a project and of a large team. If I'm not in control, I cannot properly manage the project. I think what I've learned through traveling is that I'm definitely not in control of everything. And that people also can think for themselves, that everyone, including myself, are replaceable, and that the world does not stop when you have to leave your work for a week or two. I tend to make the mistake of attending to critical items even when on leave. And the question asked whether what I've learned to do, but I think I'm still having to learn that. I'm still having to learn that switching off your laptop and your phone for 2 weeks can happen. Nothing dramatic and nothing will happen that is not recoverable or that won't be picked up by someone else that have the capacity to do so. So that's a work in progress on myself at this point.
Yeah, I think in a way, I also struggle with letting go of being in control, especially in terms of the kids and the routine. Just because you're so in that routine for so long and suddenly you're shifting to not having a routine, which is very liberating, but just that process of transitioning over to that, I find that quite hard. So letting go of that routine for a few weeks and knowing I need to return back to that routine is quite hard for me. I think it's once again a personality thing. But yeah, that's one thing that I've learned or had to learn to let go of. I have found that sometimes it does help to bring back a little bit of that routine during holidays, especially when we're away for a long time. Because then the kids and the whole family kind of needs a bit of structure again.
Just to function better, yes.
Yeah. But it is one thing that I've kind of had to learn to let go of, is that routine. Are there any personal parenting or relationship philosophies that you have been shaped or that have been shaped by what you've experienced while traveling?
I think in our household, we've explored quite a number of philosophies. We are very much a Christian household, and we believe that we are put on this planet each for their specific reason. I think what travel has shown me is that anywhere we go, we can make a small difference. Be it at Spur, where we are just kind to a waiter or a waitress, be it at a pot stall in the Karoo, where you just ask someone a few questions and be very interested in what they have to say. We have to let our light shine wherever we go. I think our philosophy of being kind, and what I always tend to say is try to be the better person. So in traveling, of course, you're on the road quite a lot, and people don't drive always the way you would like them to drive. And so you tend to get angry, and you tend to think that you are always right and they are always wrong. But being the better person means that you're not going to do anything untoward after such an episode. So yes, the philosophy of being the better person and making your light shine wherever you go, it can be enforced during traveling. During traveling, you are forced to deal with many different people. From when you go stop at the garage the first time to make sure your tires are precious right, to ordering coffee at Wimpy or wherever, and you get to deal with people the whole time. Different people, different cultures. I mean, just traveling down to the Western Cape, you get to deal with easily 6 to 7 different cultures because of the various areas you stop at.
Yeah.
And so showing people that you, as a person of a certain nationality, of a certain race, of a certain belief or religion, have a certain set of values. Our philosophy in our family is be kind, even if people are not kind towards you. Make your light shine, and that's what we are here to do. So, and we can really live that while traveling.
Yeah, absolutely. But also on the other side, I have found so many times that I have learned so many things from people on the road. I mean, even in the Karoo now, where we were at the Karoo Winter Wool Festival in Middelburg, and just experiencing that hospitality of the people in the area, and the kindness that they showed to us was also, I mean, and they didn't know us from anywhere. So it was just also so refreshing to see that people are still kind as well. So I think for me, it's also a thing of being open to learning from other cultures and other people, people living in other areas of the country or from other countries. It's really to be open to, I don't know, learning their language, one or two sentences in their language, and kind of just allowing yourself to get to know other people. But that also comes down to being kind and being hospitable from your own side. Yeah, I think in a way, travel has taught me to, it's taught me humility in a way. And that's one of the things that makes travel so special to me, is that you're kind of forced into these moments where you need to engage with people, and the best way to get through that moment is to be kind and to have a kind conversation and try to understand. Yeah, I think that's one of the main things that travel has taught me. Has being in unfamiliar places that you've never been to before, helped you to rediscover familiar relationships?
I think with traveling in West Africa, which at the beginning definitely was very unfamiliar for me, I've come to notice that certain values, certain ways of interacting with people are just common throughout the world. In my line of work, I get to deal with mostly men, and many of these men are more or less my age group. So in Ghana, for instance, where we had a project in Accra, I had to deal with local construction managers and project managers that have gone through a similar experience in their careers than that I have. So even though we are more than 6,000 kilometers away as the crow or the plane flies. We've been through more or less the same over the past 12, 15 years in terms of growth, in terms of interacting with people. We interacted with different cultures and different types of people, but we all share the same outlook when it comes to professionality, when it comes to getting a project completed. So although so unfamiliar, we, from the onset, we are familiar to one another, and that we share a common language, which is our work. I've found that to be so familiar that even then after a day at site, when we have a beer or a few, that we can share stories of past experiences and of past projects which are so similar. It's just different settings. And I've really built some great relationships with the people, with some people of West Africa that I've never in my life thought that I would.
Yeah.
Where we share common experiences, and I think common experiences are so can build such deep relationships. When people that have been in wars, people that have been in battle or lived throughout war times or just served in the army together, have such deep connections because they went through the same process, sometimes together, sometimes at different times, but they went through something that they can relate on, and being able to relate to someone with an aspect creates a bond even though you didn't know about it before.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's so interesting because in one city, there might be people with whom you would never have that bond because that you just don't have the same background or the same experiences in your background. So it's definitely those links between people, and it's interesting how you can actually create a relationship with someone from so far away. I think that's something that also kind of made the pen pals way back when such a big thing, because you could write to someone with the same interests and
same age group and
that's very interesting. Are there any destinations that feel like home or like family to you, not because of blood ties, but because of belonging, that feeling of belonging?
We've visited Germany now, I think 2 or 3 times. And we always tend to think that we have a sense of belonging there. Now, I know your question says not because of blood ties, but I think way back when, our ancestors do come from there, and I definitely think that even though we as Afrikaans people have been far removed from the Europeans for more than 100 years, there's still a sense of belonging when we go back. Not only because we know that our ancestors do come from those areas, but because there's a sense of connection, which is possibly impossible to explain. It's almost a mystical connection to go to a place where you can almost feel that your ancestors have moved here. And so, yes, not a direct blood tie, but in a sense, a blood connection nevertheless. So, yes, I would say that Germany was one such place where I felt that when speaking to someone with very limited German, you could still connect and you can still feel that you almost speak in the same, not worldly language, but rather a understanding.
Yeah, I must say I feel the same about the European experience that we've had. I must say I also feel the same about, I mean, we've been to Germany now, but I also feel the same about France. But it's once again, I think it's the blood ties in a way. Yeah, even my fashion sense sometimes seems to lean towards the French style. So there are definitely certain places where I also feel more at home and comfortable traveling to certain destinations. I kind of feel a bit anxious traveling to certain destinations where with the European destinations I feel more excitement than anxiety. Have you had a moment while traveling where you saw our children or even me through completely new eyes?
Yeah, when traveling, you're forced to experience things that you didn't plan for or that you are not used to. With smaller kids as we have, they have a limited view of the world, and it's sometimes it's great to have faith like a kid does, because they do not have they are not aware of or have the knowledge of all the dangers that are out there. I must say I was very surprised with our son when we went down to the coast to see him just running into the waves, not knowing what dangers really lie there. And in a sense, it's our responsibility to encourage things like that, to make them aware to some extent of the dangers, but to encourage them to explore to the extent that it is safe. So I think that's something that I was surprised to see with our son. He is not someone that would over eagerly just run into danger. He's quite hesitant to try new things, but with the sea, it was as if the sea was calling him, and he just doesn't mind.
Yeah.
He just goes.
Yeah, the excitement was so big. After traveling solo, have you found that there's been certain changes within you?
We are, having a family, you rarely afforded the time to be solely on your own. And you are so used to having either work colleagues or your family around you. I've learned I was forced to learn to build a sense of self-discipline when traveling alone. There are so many periods of time where you are just by yourself, where you can do whatever you want, but to use that time effectively, whether it's to explore or whether to catch up on work or to catch up on admin or catch up with your friends, to use it productively and to your benefit, you have to have self-discipline. I think traveling for work by myself has taught me that to a large extent. That when no one is looking, what are you going to do? And when you do come back from a trip, are you proud of what you've achieved? Have you made the most of it? Or did you do stuff that you regretted, or did you waste time? And I think that's something that I had to work on and build in myself, was that self-discipline, yes.
Yeah, and isn't it incredible that travel allowed you that opportunity to... It's just deepened your knowledge of yourself and your almost your self-worth and also your inner strength.
Definitely, yeah.
It's actually quite scary to think what travel can do for you when you think of it. If you could design one dream trip that reflects our family's values and our family's story, where would you go?
So I have this dream of traveling through America. To start either on the west coast or the east coast, to rent a RV, as they call it in America, and just to spend 30, 40 days on the road and see the entirety of America. If I'm great, I would say New York is on the east coast and Miami is on the west coast. I think so. But between that is such an array of cultures, of geography and things to see. So firstly, I think when I think of our family, we do not like specific stuff. We like a bit of everything.
Yeah.
And so I think that would fit our family quite well, to have variety in a trip. The second thing that we love in our family is to be together the whole time. And you can't be more together than in an RV for 40 days. And I think that would suit us. I think that would, we could make that work. And lastly, I think it will teach us to be so forgiving of one another, to live with one another very closely for a long time, to be disciplined, to be accountable towards one another. So out of such trips, even though we would experience so much, I think we would also come back as a very stronger family and a very strong bond. And I think that's one dream trip that I will work towards. And that's it.
Thanks for joining me on my podcast.
Hopefully she invites me again if I did well.
Oh, you'll have to come with some topics. Thanks for listening once again, and until next week.
Good night.
And there you have it, a little peek behind the curtain of our travels, our family, and the beautiful chaos in between. I hope this conversation sparked something for you, a memory, a longing, or maybe just a reminder that travel isn't just about where you go, but who you become along the way. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to share it with someone you'd love to travel with, whether it's your partner, your parent, your best friend, or even those little ones who always ask, "Are we there yet?" Don't forget to subscribe to Suitcase and Chardonnay wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you feel generous, please leave a review. Your words help other slow-living, style-loving, story-seeking souls to find Suitcase and Chardonnay online. You can also find behind-the-scenes travel moments, family snapshots, and more over on Instagram at Suitcase and Chardonnay. And I'd love to hear what your most meaningful family travel memories have been. Until next time, keep packing light, living deeply, and choosing connection wherever the journey takes you. Cheers.